Sam Harris recently took some heat for the things he said about Elon Musk when interviewed by Bill Maher on Bill Maher's Club Random podcast. And in the aftermath of that criticism, Sam Harris, just a couple days ago, 36 hours ago, put out a piece on his Substack called The Trouble with Elon. I want to focus in on a specific part of this piece, although I encourage you to read all of it.
In this clip on the David Pakman show, David Pakman goes over and absolutely dismantles Elon Musk and some absolutely bonker text that he had in exchange with Sam Harris. This is one of the most interesting things I have seen in quite some time, so without spoiling anything, let's just get into it and I'll be giving you my unfiltered take as we go through it.
And even if you are not a fan of Sam Harris's, what I want you to think about is, based on everything we know about Sam and everything we know about Elon Musk, is there any doubt in your mind that Sam Harris is telling the truth about the texts that he exchanged with Elon Musk? And I'll give you where I'm kind of going with this. These text message exchanges that we're about to look at expose the degree to which Musk is unstable, dangerous, and should have no position of power or any role adjacent to someone as powerful as the President of the United States. If anything, these texts that Sam describes confirm that Musk needs to be pushed as far from power as possible, as quickly as possible. So let's check this out. Okay, here is Sam's explanation of how his friendship with Elon kind of imploded. He said, COVID first invaded our lives in March of 2020. Elon started tweeting in ways I feared would harm his reputation. I also worried his tweets might exacerbate the coming public health emergency. Italy had already fallen off a cliff, and Elon shared the following opinion with his tens of millions of fans. The coronavirus panic is dumb. As a concerned friend, I sent him a private text. This is Sam's text to Elon. Hey, brother, I really think you need to walk back your coronavirus tweet. I know there's a way to parse it that makes sense. Panic is always dumb. But I fear that's not the way most people are reading it. You have an enormous platform. Much of the world looks to you as an authority on all things technical. Coronavirus is a very big deal. And if we don't get our act together, we're going to look just like Italy very soon. If you want to turn some engineers loose on the problem, now would be a good time for a breakthrough in the production of ventilators. Sam goes on to say, Elon's response was, I believe, the first discordant note ever struck in our friendship. Sam, you of all people should not be concerned about this.
Elon hit him with the classic, you're too smart to fall for this move. Elon basically hit Sam Harris with the intellectual equivalent of, don't worry sweetie, let the big boys handle it. What makes this worse is that Musk is so confidentially wrong, he's not just dismissing Sam's concerns, he's treating him like some nervous amateur. This is the kind of arrogance you expect from a guy who thinks he can solve every problem with a flamethrower and a PayPal account, in which of course he can't.
He included a link to a page on the CDC website showing COVID was not among the top 100 causes of death in the United States. This was a patently silly point to make in the first days of a pandemic. We continued exchanging texts for at least 2 hours. If I hadn't known that I was communicating with Elon Musk, I would have thought I was debating someone who lacked any understanding of basic scientific and mathematical concepts like exponential curves. Okay. Sam goes on to say, and I'm paraphrasing here, that Elon and he did not converge on their views of epidemiology. But they made a compromise, a bet. Elon bet me $1 million to be given to charity against a bottle of fancy tequila, $1,000, that we wouldn't see as many as 35,000 cases of COVID in the US. Cases, not deaths. The terms of the bet reflected what was in his estimation, the near certainty, 1,000 to 1, that he was right. Having already heard credible estimates that there could be 1 million deaths from COVID, estimates that proved fairly accurate, I thought the terms of the bet ridiculous and quite unfair to Elon. I offered to spot him 2 orders of magnitude. I was confident we'd soon have 3.5 million cases of COVID in the US. Elon accused me of having lost my mind and insisted we stick with 35,000. Sam goes on to explain that there was sporadic communication over the next few weeks. Cases grew. Sam would provide data and Elon would dismiss it. A few weeks later, when the CDC website finally reported 35,000 deaths not cases, deaths, and 600,000 cases, I sent Elon the following text. Is 35,000 deaths plus 600,000 cases more than 35,000 cases?
Salt in the wound with that question. This is where it goes from absurd to tragic. Elon was so fixated on being right that he ignored the data piling up in real time. Imagine seeing 35,000 deaths and thinking, yeah, but my tweet still aged well. It's like someone driving off a cliff and saying, at least I called the view breathtaking. And when Sam finally checks back in with that text, Musk's response is crickets. No accountability, no humility, just silence, which, to be honest, I expect from Elon.
This text appears to have ended our friendship. Elon never responded, and it was not long before he started maligning me on Twitter for a variety of imaginary offensive. This continues with Sam talking about getting off of Twitter and other things, but there is one other key line here where Sam says, I bet that anyone who knows us both knows that I am telling the truth. It is, of course, obvious that Sam Harris is indeed telling the truth. The idea that he would fabricate these communications out of thin air now, years after these exchanges, to criticize Elon Musk, I mean, it's just not, it makes no sense whatsoever. It doesn't pass the sniff test. And you have to consider, if Elon Musk was so obviously wrong, and think back to that time, Elon thought there wouldn't be 35,000 cases. It was abundantly clear that even if all the estimates were really off, there were still going to be more than 35,000 cases. How can a guy who got something in front of his face so obviously so wrong ever be trusted to help the president of the United States make important decisions? But then I would go even further. Forget about the fact that he was wrong. What about the fact that his reaction after making a bet, he's got hundreds of billions and $1 million to a charity. And when Sam says, you know, I kind of am here to collect on it, right? I mean, I was right by a lot. The friendship is over. He doesn't respond, and he starts publicly attacking Sam Harris. You don't have to be a defender of Sam Harris to recognize that this is not a guy, Elon Musk, who should be anywhere near any of the access that he's currently getting, traveling with Trump to France and so on. This is just Elon. Just think about all the other incompetent folks that are being pulled into Trump's orbit. Terrifying, terrifying stuff.
It is terrifying, not just because Musk got the pandemic so wrong or ghosted a friend over a bet, but because this is the guy some people think should be advising presidents. The guy that we saw just last night standing and talking on behalf of the current president. The same dude who turned Twitter into a dumpster fire and can't handle basic facts without imploding friendships. Elon Musk might be a genius in some areas, but when it comes to judgment and leadership, this story makes it clear. The man is out of his depth, and he's currently in a position where that cannot be the case. Those traits cannot be non-existent. At least, that's my unfiltered take. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts down in the comments below. Do you think this is a major issue and Elon should be in the position where he is right now or not? Let me know down in the comments. Be sure to give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.